Hey everyone, this is Taylor and I'm a speech therapist and I work a lot in feeding. I work with pediatrics or birth to 3 and I help parents come up with fun ways to get their kids involved in the kitchen. So today is Saturday and we are having a barbecue and I wanted to come up with something fun for everyone to have for dessert. And as Sunny Anderson says, a trifle is a great showstopper, and it's summer, so it's really nice to have something cool as a dessert. So we're doing an Oreo and cream trifle. And what I like about trifles is kids can help layer the flavors, and you don't have to worry about it being hot and kids can burn themselves. So we're gonna start with one large package of pudding mix, so vanilla pudding mix. You can also do chocolate. I couldn't decide if I wanted to do chocolate or vanilla, and I went with vanilla. And then we're gonna follow just the package of pudding. So we're gonna do 1 cup of half and half. So I'm gonna add that right in. And then 2 cups of milk. So I'm gonna pour that right in. Here's my half and half. And I have my whisk, and I'm just gonna go ahead and mix my half and half first. And then I'm gonna add my 2 cups of milk. So what I like about this is that with a trifle, you can really make it your own. I'm gonna add my 2 cups of regular milk. And you could add fruit in between. I've done several different types of trifles. I've done a 4th of July one, that's a pretty popular one, and I've done it with a chocolate mousse in the middle with berries and blueberries. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and mix that. I've done a mint trifle, I've done a chocolate cherry trifle. I talk about the kitchen a lot on Food Network. And they always have like a lot of fun trifles to do. So I've done a chocolate cherry one that I've gotten off of their recipe. And what's super nice about this is that it's super quick, so you can have your kids practice mixing. You can talk about, for the food play purpose, you can have your kids mix and talk about the texture, talk about how we added a dry mix to a wet mix, and have your kids talk about how it's thickening on its own. Go ahead and add some more. And then we're gonna let this thicken up. So I have this mixing. And then another thing you can do with getting your kids involved is crushing the Oreos. So I just did 1 small package of Oreos, those individual packs. I would say there's about 1.5 cups in here. And I'm actually gonna add some right into our pudding mix. I'll show you. And I'm still just going ahead and mixing, and it's slowly thickening up. And like I said, if you really like chocolate, not a fan of vanilla, you can just do a chocolate. It could be super delicious. I've also done versions of a trifle with the frozen ice cream sandwiches, where you do the Oreos and the ice cream sandwiches, and then you could do a pudding in the middle, or I've just done Cool Whip. And we're gonna add some Cool Whip here in a second. So I'm gonna add a little bit more Oreos. What I like about the Oreos is it brings that crunch. Okay, so as this thickens up, I'm stirring that a little bit, it's getting a little bit thicker. I cut up some cake ho-hos and some, or I guess, Swiss rolls. So they look like this, like that. And then I also cut up some zebra cakes. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna layer them. So I'm gonna cut up a couple more. I'll show you. And what you could do with this is have the kids, if you don't want to cut them up, you can also have the kids break them up with their fingers. So that's a nice task with having your kids explore new texture. You could talk about what's it feel like, it's soft, how the shell on the outside of the cake is hard, but when you cut into it, it's sticky, it's wet. You can talk about when you squeeze it, what happens to it. So when I do food play with my kids at work, I usually, when we're making something, let them try the individual ingredients. So if you have kids that don't like mixed textures, what you could do is just have them try the cake first. Let them just dip their fingers in the pudding. So then they're exploring a new taste individually before it's all thrown together. And then what's nice about this is it has the Oreos, which are gonna bring that crunch. So a lot of kids with poor oral awareness or poor, with lower muscle tone, or kids that like dry, crunchy textures, adding a crunchy Oreo or even like a potato chip if you wanted that sweet and salty, will give them that oral awareness. So I found this today. It's Oreo Cool Whip Mix-In. If you don't have it, you could just do regular Oreo mix. but I thought that would just add an extra little bit to it. So I'm gonna add the entire container. That's gonna be our base. And the reason why I didn't do the chocolate because I wanted to be able to see the pieces inside. So, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fold it in. And sometimes what I'll do when I've made this before is I've added in a block of cream cheese, which is another fun thing you could do. As you can see, I'm just folding it in. And then what we'll do is we'll put this in the fridge and let it set for 3 hours. And what I like about this recipe is that you can have your kids make it the night before. This is a great recipe for kids that like ice cream or colder desserts. And then if you have a birthday party or something the day before, what you can do is have it all ready for you the night before. I've also done this with Super Bowl and done like green on top with green coconut for grass. All right, this looks good. I'm gonna add a couple more Oreos to it. Like I said, have the kids add the Oreos in, let the kids put the layers on. From a language perspective, not only are you talking about the different textures and letting them explore it, but you're talking about, you're developing language like adjectives. So you're talking about it's cold, it's wet. So that's also just a great development. So I'm gonna add one layer of my pudding mix right on top. I like to put a cream mix at the bottom so it has something for the bottom layer to stick to. And then I'm gonna add some of my chocolate. And I usually have a glass bowl, but this is nice because there's a lid on top. So when we take it to the barbecue, it'll be nice and ready to go. So I'm adding that right in. I'm just kind of mixing it. You could just do one chocolate layer, one white layer. I'm just putting it all in there, but for kids that like everything separate, I would do one chocolate layer, then one white layer. But we're just throwing it all together. And I bought one box each. You might not use a whole box, depending on how much you have, but that's what's kind of nice about this. I recommend buying 2 boxes and then going from there. So I'm gonna add this right in on top. Okay, we're just gonna add that right in to our top layer. And then to add more crunch, I have my Oreos. And what you're gonna do is just keep continuing putting one layer on top over and over. I've also done hard shell on top of this, which is super good. And then we're gonna add some more of our cake. Just sprinkle that on top. Super delicious. And then we're gonna add more. Right on top, another layer. And this feeds a lot of people. Just adding that. Right. And then I like to top it with the Oreos. So I'm gonna add the rest of our cake. And the reason why I like letting it sit for 3 hours is that you will get a nice, all the cake flavor will soak in with the pudding mixture, and it gives the pudding time to set. Okay, and I'm actually gonna add a couple more seed cakes. Right, and then we're gonna add our top layer before I add more cake. And actually, I don't think we need that other layer. I think we'll just top it with our Oreos. What you could also do is alternate chocolate and do a chocolate layer, a white layer, so then you get that actual Oreo feel. I've done that too. So you could do do one layer chocolate, one layer vanilla, one layer chocolate, one layer vanilla. Okay. I'm gonna add some more Oreos, and I will show you what the side of chocolate looks like. And you can talk about colors. That's another language thing, another language task. So that is what it looks like. And we're gonna stick it in the fridge. And what's nice is this can also be a fun food play activity where you have your kids play and mess with it. But that's all it really is. And we made this in less than 10 minutes. Well, this is Speech Eat, and I will see you guys later. Bye.